There are so many armors to choose from in Escape from Tarkov, and the 6B3TM, also known as the Rat Rig sometimes, can be one of the most common, especially earlier on in the wipe. But is it worth it? Is it a waste of your money, or could it be the best budget armor in the game? I'm Jessekazam. Welcome back to another Escape from Tarkov video. I stream Escape from Tarkov on Twitch. All my links will be down below. And we've been doing this big blowout August subathon event over on Twitch. And as one of the rewards for hitting some of our sub goals, we are going to be giving away an NVIDIA RTX 3070 this weekend live on stream, courtesy of Stints Built. The giveaway link is down below. You can use that link to sign up and enter a few different ways. You can hang out with us for a 24-hour stream this weekend. And a huge shout out and thank you to Stints Built for making this happen. They are a company that makes custom PCs with over 35 years of experience between everybody there. They've got really upfront pricing. Their work is phenomenal. So please check them out using the links below as well. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so like we said, we are talking about the 6B3TM, aka the Rat Rig. This is an armored rig in Escape from Tarkov, which already makes it really nice. Armor is a very complicated and often very misunderstood concept, even by some veteran players. So I'm not going to go too deep into it. We're just going to give you the information you need to know to figure out if this is worth running or if it's more of a meme. So like we said, armored rig is already really nice, especially when we're talking about budget, because you don't have to buy the rig and the armor. It's already baked in. And since we're talking about budget, I try to frame all this through the lens of not necessarily having to have the flea market. Now, in order to purchase this armor, you do need level 2 Ragman, which means you need to be level 17. So the line's kind of blurred there because you need to be high enough level for it. But as you'll see, one of the things I like about this armor is that you don't necessarily need the flea market for it. So why is this armor so popular? Why do a lot of people use it, and should you? Well, it's a class 4 armor, which especially early on in the game is really, really good. Even especially where we're at now, where you've got we're still technically pretty early wipe. We're only a month or two into the wipe, not even 2 full months. And that means you've got a section of the players that are already really high level, but a vast majority of the players are still mid-level. And then you still, of course, have players that are either hopping onto the wipe late or new to the game that are going to be low level. So this is when the most variation occurs, really, this time in the wipe. So class 4 armor is really, we're entering that place where class 4 armor is like kind of going to be the minimum recommendation, if at all possible. And this is a class 4 armor. It definitely has a lot of cons, which is why you don't see this news very late game, but we will talk about the pros first. So first of all, it is very available. So this is purchasable from level 2 Ragman, like we said. So you need to get to level 17, but level 2 Ragman, it is 50,000 rubles, which especially in the scheme of things is not that expensive. You can buy 6 of them, which is actually one of the higher like per reset limits for something. 6 raids, especially if you survive any of them and then you factor in all the time in your stash, maybe do a scav raid or 2, and you're probably ready for the trader reset anyway. So the ability to purchase 6 and the fact that they're pretty inexpensive definitely makes this very viable from an accessibility standpoint for a player. If you are over level 20, you can purchase these from the flea market. Sometimes, a lot of times, you will find 40 out of 40 of these cheaper than 50K. Like earlier when I was doing research for the video, I found them for, around 48, 45 to 48K for 40 out of 40 ones. It just depends. Like this one just popped up 48K for 40 out of 40. Now, the reason that you can find them is because you can also get these from scavs, which is another kind of point in the availability section for this, is because you can find these in raid pretty frequently. So you can either bring one in and insurance fraud it and then take one from a scav, or if you're just doing a pistol run or something like that, these are really common armors to find on scavs, and they're really nice. So if you get the headshot on the scav, then you've got a fresh new armor ready to rumble. You actually have a barter available for this as well, where you can turn in 4 broken ones, really just 4 other ones, and get a fresh one. This can be nice because if you're insuring them and dying with them and people won't take them, because oftentimes, especially at this point in the wipe, people won't take them, and maybe they got really damaged and you don't really feel like repairing it because repairing it won't be worth it. Well, if you've got the stash base, you can just kind of like save those up, barter, grab 4 of the broken ones and barter for a brand new one. So it's got kind of like a continued return on the initial investment. If they're coming back from insurance, or if you just survived a raid but the armor was super busted, there's still value in that because you can potentially barter for another one later on. So they are cheap and they are very available, which is really nice. But how effective are they? So like we said, class 4 armor, it only covers knee, thorax, and the stomach. and it has a max of 40 durability points, which isn't that much. And as we'll see in a little bit, the repairability of this, I would say, is like a medium. It's not terrible, but it's definitely not great. So we can pull up the Battle Buddy app. Shout out to Veritas for making this awesome tool. And we can kind of like run it through its paces and see some of the effectiveness of this armor. So we can take the penetration chance and go, 6B3TM and pull it up and run it against some ammos. Now, the important thing to remember here is that class 4 armor is going to always just be class 4 armor for the first shots. Now, once again, we're not going to get too far in the weeds of the armor, but as you'll see, I kind of consider this like your one-shot armor. So no matter what, so we take it around like BT, it's got 55.3% chance to pen on that first shot of the 6B3TM. But if we take some of the higher caliber class 4 armors, like a trooper armor, 85 durability, still 55.3. We take something like a TV110, which is another rig, which are really, really nice. Same 55.3% chance. So on the first shot, no matter what the material the armor is made out of is, if it's class 4 armor, they will all react to the same to every ammo on the very first shot. Now, it gets complicated after it gets broken down a little bit, and that's when things start to change a little bit. But we'll talk about that in a second. So we see something like that, something like 762 PS. With 32 pen is going to only be an 18% chance to pen on that first shot. And even some of the 9mm rounds, even up to the pretty expensive ones like AP 6.3 is only a 9.1% chance to pen. So I kind of call this the one-shot armor, and that's really where it shines. If you have the reaction time to either get out of that situation or return fire quickly, then this armor can serve you well because it's going to absorb that first 1, maybe 2 shots very similarly to any other class 4 armor. Now, the low durability and what it's made out of really start to take into effect as you take more shots. And the kind of example for that is this AP 6.3. If we get shot 1, 2, 3, 4 times, assuming the armor absorbs all those shots, the armor's pretty broken, and now you're at a 93% chance to pen for that same ammo. And if we take that over to a trooper just to demonstrate, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It takes 11 shots. Once again, this is kind of a bad example because it's assuming that none of the shots penetrate, which eventually one would. But it takes 11 shots to take that fresh trooper and get it down to a place where now the round has an over 90% chance to pen. So that is an example for you to see that the long-term effectiveness of this armor, getting shot multiple times, really starts to fall off a cliff really quickly. It gets broken up pretty intensely and pretty quickly and loses its effectiveness really fast. But it's that one-shot armor. It will protect you the same way any other class 4 armor would against 1 or 2 of those shots. And that leads us into the next thing, which is repairability. How well does it repair, and is it even worth repairing? So I purchased this one specifically off the flea market because it was at 11.3. So it doesn't repair too bad compared to other armors. Like, you've got your slicks and your trooper armors and your TV 110s, which repair really, really well. And then you've got something like a Gen 4 on the other hand, which repairs really poorly. So this isn't bad. 16,000 rubles, you're almost halfway to buying a new one. If you wanted to get even a little bit more out of it, now you're at 30,000 rubles and from Skier, once again, basically on your way to buying a new one. But if we repair this, we're down to 36.8 durability. I would say these are probably a 1 repair only armor, to be honest with you, because in the Battle Buddy, if we pull the durability down to 36, even though this is technically 37 if we round up, but to 36, you see that the chance of that AP 6.3 going from 9 up to 12. And if we pull it down to 30, it increases that chance up to 18%. So maybe you can get away with fixing this one more time, but you're really increasing your chances, and it shows even more against something like BT. So BT's that 545 ammo. It's really common in Tarkov. It already has a 55% chance to pen. If you're rocking an armor that's, repaired twice down to 32, that 55% chance goes up to 71%. So this can be where this thing falls apart a little bit. Now, like we said, that doesn't mean they're throwaway, because they can potentially still have value if you choose not to repair them and you gather up a few that are 0 out of whatever. If you're really, really on a budget and you want to repair it a second time down to like 33 or 34 durability, it's not going to be terrible, but you are going to lose a little bit of that effectiveness. Really, like we said, if it's at full durability, that's when that first shot is going to act like any other class 4 armor, and that's when that's going to be really helpful. So the 6B3TM, its pros are it's cheap, it's very accessible, and it is a really easy way to get class 4 armor on. The cons are that it breaks really easy. It's really only going to be effective for 1 or 2 shots. And of course, the longer the wipe goes, the less effective this is going to be, because more people are going to be running higher end stuff. Now, as you can see, I've had the 6B5 down here below for the entire time. I just want to take this as an honorable mention. Once again, I wanted to filter all this through the concept of it being budget. Maybe you don't have access to the flea market. This is another armor. It is 50 durability, as you can see. So it does have a little bit more durability to it, which means it's going to be a little bit more effective in taking some of those shots. Class 4 armor as well. So for that first shot, they're effectively the same. The reason why I didn't include it or make the video about it is because these aren't directly purchasable. You can purchase the 6B3TM. The 6B5, you have to barter for a similar barter, 3 of these for 1 of them. You can also find these on scavs. And if you do have access to the flea market, you can also purchase these for less, a pretty decent amount. Once again, 50 out of 50 for 43K, 43K. So you can sometimes get these cheaper than the 6B3TMs. They are a little bit smaller when it comes to space, but they have a little bit more durability. So once again, this is basically just as good and just as effective. You can find these on scavs, but I wanted there to be a path here. If you don't have the flea market, if you just wanted to purchase one, so that's nice that you can just straight up purchase the 6B3TM. So that's it. I would say overall, these are pretty effective. I would say if you have the money and if you have the armor, wear something else. You know what I mean? Like you always want to be maximizing your survival rate. But if you're doing budget runs, if you're down on your luck, or if you're new to the game, or if you just don't have that much money, these really are pretty effective in the game. And I wouldn't go so far as to say that they were a meme. So I hope that this helped. I hope that this cleared up maybe a little bit about how armor works and where the strengths of this are. Like I say, with everything, it's all about expectation. Don't expect this to tank 8 shots. Expect it to tank 1 or 2. And if you play that way, then you might be able to use this budget armor and be pretty effective in Escape from Tarkov. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to check out this video. If you liked the video, think about dropping a like, commenting down below, or subscribing to the channel for more content like this. Like we said before, I stream Escape from Tarkov on Twitch. All my links will be down below. I'd love to have you stop by and say hey. And if you're looking for people to play Tarkov with, our Discord community is an awesome place to be. That link is down below as well. Thank you again for stopping by, and I will definitely see y'all on the next one.